Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. 9:30, September 14th, 2021. 19.7 Celsius in here. Looks a little bit different in the tiny house. It's been a while since I filmed anything actually. I've been busy painting. So I got a little bit of a... This was the most difficult thing to paint I've ever. Couldn't use a roller. Had to manually brush this on, and even with a brush you can see there's still spots you just can't get. Now we did have a rain, and unfortunately we still have... I did a few days ago go on the roof and patch some more stuff up, but there's still... This is not as bad as it was on this side actually. So I think I got this one not too bad, but this one is still... We got some still drip, very slow drips. I can't get to it at the moment because I have the wall out here, or everything off the wall, because I just painted the walls in the tiny house all the way down. Tiny house is a construction zone. I'll show you the paint job here, guys. I'll shut the door here for a second. Okay, so here is... I just painted this wall beside the barrel stove, just black, okay? Sorry about the sun blaring through here. It looks really good, breaks the room up because everything else is white. This is a kind of a, it's called gray glimpse. So it's got a dark tinge to the white. It's not just plain white, so not as bad. Today, I'm gonna be putting in all the window frames that have been stained and polyurethane. We got quite a bit more water, as you can see from the tank here, so that's a decent thing from that rain we had, and everything seems to be holding its own, thank God. Let's see, no drippy drips. Hey, that's a good thing. Yeah, so all this stuff in this corner I'm going to put all the window frames up today. Then I got to cut my pieces of trim to fill in and paint the trim before they go up. So going to be a busy boy. And once the trim and the paint is in, the window trim and the wall trim is in, I will then start moving stuff out of the bedroom area, because I got to get this giant box back there and take apart my solar system. And the reason for that is we have the new batteries here, guys, and we have to get them in the battery box, and I got to start cooking sand. And what do you mean by that, Rob? Well, I got to bake the sand that I purchased in those sacks, so there's no moisture in there, or very little moisture content in the sand. That way it doesn't wet rot the battery box out, or the batteries themselves, even though they're in plastic cases. But yeah, lots of work to do. Fun, guys. Fun. So tiny house is a complete mess, but we're getting there. So all the painting is done other than the rest of the ceiling. And so far so good. I still have to do the exterior of the tiny house, but apparently it's hard enough to get interior paint as opposed to exterior paint is like at a premium right now for whatever reason. It's insane. I don't get it. I do not get it. So anyways, exterior's on hold until I get the rest of the interior done. But for now, I'm going to get all the window trim in, and I will video the end product for you guys, because you've seen me probably put it up and down 100 times on this channel by now. So I will get to that, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. A lot going on in the world. A lot of not good news going on in the world. But here at the tiny house, I'm slowly but surely getting stuff back together. So I got the window trim back in. All the walls are painted in here. I'm gonna spin the camera around to make people not dizzy, hopefully. Here is what the fireplace area looks like. Now, I had to put this white trim on, which can be painted black later at some other time, if needed be. But there was a strip of silicone I could not, for the life of me, get off the plywood here, and paint would not stick to it. So I just covered it up with the trim, and that's it. And then I got leftover trim down here. So, and then I made a strip just for this little weird side piece area here, and it seemed to work out. And this trim has been painted the same color as the walls here, which is gray glimpse. Now, tiny house still disaster zone, but we got the window trim in. I got my sink back there, back installed. We did get some more rain through that storm, so you can see the level here. I don't know how many gallons, but a decent amount it looks like, so that's pretty good. And you can see the clarity of the water, incoming water now. It's not bad after switching over to the rock filter on the roof. That is the cat's meow. Works really good. So today, guys, I've had enough of painting. I've had enough of trim. Finally, we're getting into the stuff I like to do and that I'm kind of good at. And that is, I have to take out a lot of stuff out of the bedroom area because I need this big box, the battery box here that has a bunch of crap on it now, moved back here, and I have to pick a place for it to go on the solar wall here, and the solar wall itself will be either moved or whatever. I'm actually thinking of possibly putting the battery box in that corner. That way I don't have to do a whole lot. I can actually cut that 2x4 off, rearrange my fan system, and go from there. Possibly. I don't know, because the wires are too short that are going to be connected to the battery, but I can swap them. Oh, Jesus. There goes the tripod. Holy crap. Give me a second, guys. Camera took a beating here. God, I hate oh, man. China makes the junkiest equipment ever. Anyways, before that happened, the inverter cables are long enough that they'll probably hook into the battery box okay. And there's the batteries right there. So we'll figure it out. But all this styrofoam and wood and crap in the inverter, all that's coming out. And the box is going in there. And to be honest, I can probably take down this mylar that's on the back wall. Whatever. But in the meantime, I gotta take all this crap out of this room and send it down that way to the tiny house. It's a giant game of Tetris, and it's not been fun. We're getting closer though. Now, I checked for leaks up here. There's still tiny. Actually, this side up here is not as bad anymore. That we did some more sealing on the roof. This side, I still got to put the ladder up here and take a look. But I think this side still has issues somewhere. Not fun. But it is what it is, guys. I'll live with it. If that's the only leak situation, I can rig up some kind of better setup than a couple containers, and we'll go from there. If I gotta run, basically I can put like maybe a little fan up there, and I don't know. It's very difficult to find this leak on the flat roof. I don't know where the hell it is. Could be anywhere, literally. And I know a lot of people are trying to help me out in the comments saying, well, just do this, that, and the other. Well, guys, send me the money in order to properly seal the roof off. You guys know I have a tight budget here, right? And YouTube sure as hell ain't paying for it. So it's up to the Patreon members and people who out there are generous and want to get me going here. The only water is down at this end of the tiny house. I have not seen any other water on either side of the tiny house or in the corners, because the corners are still exposed in the tiny house, both sides, the ones that were really wet, rotten, sealed, and they're completely sealed now on the outside and inside. So we are only getting some tiny little drips up here, and the leak is so slow that I could basically live with these containers just sitting up here on this shelf. It's not a constant thing. It's like a drip every hour. It'll drip. And then another hour goes by, and then a drip. That's how slow it is. So, you know, it's livable, but we still got to take care of it. I hate to complain and ask for money, but remember, guys, the budget is tight here. I appreciate all my supporters in the comments, but yeah, like I said, money's tight. But anyways, especially money's tight after getting the final components of the solar setup. So bank took a hit. That'll be it for now, guys. I'm gonna start moving stuff. We'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, so I had to quit working for a minute to make a prepping video. We're in big trouble. The Democrats stole the California election yet again, trying to oust Newsom. Republicans were showing up to the polls. A lot of people were showing up to the polls saying, and when they got there they said, oh, their vote has already been cast, you already voted. Yeah. So they stole a California election to keep their goon in there. Isn't that wonderful? And now, I'm expecting them to continue, since they stole the election from Trump. Why not steal for these governors and mayors and whatever, right? They're getting away with it. They control the Department of Justice, apparently. The FBI is nowhere to be found. It's incredible, guys. So that means the elections in the United States now are pretty much fucking rigged. Or always have been. So they're called selections now. So the world is in extreme danger because of this. Nobody is getting their vote. Nobody's getting their entitled vote because there's thieves, con artists, and cheaters going on. And even though Trump said he's going to rerun, it's probably not going to go his way because of the theft going on with the election systems. Dominion, bunch of, you know what, trash, communist, treasonous trash. And then also, we have one of the military guys, Milley, I believe is his name, was going to warn the Chinese if Trump was going to attack when he was under Trump in the administration. That's called treason. One of your top military generals is a turncoat. That just came out. Just wonderful stuff. I also saw America's GDP is down 41%. 41%. America's GDP is down 41%. That is economic collapse type shit going on. Guys, I've been working my bag off all summer to get the tiny house, my little bug out place, suitable, livable, on a very extreme tight budget. I don't know what you guys have been doing all summer. I hope you've been prepping and having a little cabin built or tiny house built. Get all your stuff in place now, because just my own personal experience, we had to order something for work, a common item. 5 weeks, they said, is the soonest we could get it. 5 weeks. That's insanity, guys. Everybody I talk to, can't get this, can't get that, can't go to work. People don't want to work because they're just sitting at home getting the government welfare check because of the COVID. And then now they're forcing everybody to get shots or you're out of a job. So sounds like a big, giant toilet bowl flushing right now in the country. We're going down the tubes. America's going down the tubes. And China, I just recently saw, their production levels are down drastically, and they had to demo some buildings to get some property back. High-rises, built brand new high-rises, had to demo a bunch of them to get some land back. So they're either planning to build some farms or convert that into farmland or something. I'm not entirely sure. But there's shit going on that's insane. I hope everybody's out there safe, preparing. I have another prepping video coming up for you. My brother's coming down later today. He works in the healthcare field, and he has to now get the vaccine, which he does not want to get, because he knows as much as I do about it or more, and it is scary shit. And I told him, well, look, the only way it's going to go down is if that we have an MPP here, which is a government official, trying to put a bill forward saying, making it illegal for them to fire you for refusing the vax. Hopefully that goes through. If it doesn't, his other choice is quit his job. He's not tied to a pension or anything, and come work for me and my dad, and that way he can get around it. But then that would uproot his whole life, and he'd have to move back home and all that. So it's entirely up to him. I just said, you know, it's very... The government is extremely brutal right now, guys. We're going. Everybody's walking headfirst into tyranny right now, and they're using this emergency COVID that has a 98% survival rate to it to bring it in. Okay. Now you're gonna say, "Oh, but the variants, they're worse." Guess where the variants are coming from, guys? The fully vaccinated countries. Israel. There's a bunch. Go look it up. They have the data now proving this. Israel has, like, I'm going to say, what, 90% of their population is triple vax now with the booster, and they're still having a hellhole going on. Australia is in an absolute prison colony now again. They can't leave their house for more than an hour. There's all kinds of shit going on, and they have this cell phone app, government cell phone app, that you have to take a picture of yourself and where you're located every few hours so the government knows you're doing what they say. Insanity. I also saw a leaked post from an employee up in Walmart, Canada, saying internally they're debating on whether to allow or impose the vaccine passport. So you can't. So in order to come to a Walmart in Canada, you need the vaccine passport to buy groceries. That's already happening in France. It's probably already happening in Australia. Insanity going on, guys. I hope you guys are stocking up on supplements, medications, long-term storage, food, and you have a bug-out cabin or tiny house to go to. Because shit is falling apart rapidly. If you don't see it, then your head's in your, you know what. Your head's in your butt. You're not following the news. And then you're going to say, Rob, I watch the news all the time. You watch the local propaganda, national news, or you go to the websites that are all controlled and have Big Pharma on the board members of telling you to get this jab, that jab, and whatever. Yeah, that is not the news. That you have to watch alternative media news. Press for Truth, We Are Change, AJ, you know, Infowars, Caravan of Midnight. Joe Rogan show is actually now more informative than the actual news. Okay? A podcast is more informative than the actual news. Okay? We're in trouble, and if you guys aren't preparing, I've warned you for years. I don't know what else to tell you. And sorry guys, if you haven't been contributing to the tiny house and live locally around here and need a place to come, then you're shit out of luck, right? Because I'm not allowing some friends over here that aren't contributing my way and are actually with it. They're on their own, and good riddance, because it's brutal to say that to friends, but if you laugh this shit off and you got your head so far up your butt that you don't know which end is up, then it is what it is, guys. I have no pity for fools, okay? So, I pity the fool. I pity the fool. So, so anyways, I'm gonna get back to work, get this solar hooked up, so I can double my capacity here at the off-grid tiny house and have a decent head start amongst the soon-to-be angry zombies, angry masses of people that are going to soon realize the government is totally screwing everybody, and we're in a controlled collapse. I made that video quite a while ago in prepping. Go to my prepping playlist, you can find it. I even called the COVID a year ahead and named where it was coming from, China. You can go look that up. It's called the ZZAX in the prepping playlist. Yeah, guys, it is getting extremely scary. Prices are continuing to go up. Scarcity is going up huge for everything. It's not good. So, prepare, guys. It's no joke. This is red alert. Get your head out of your butt. Get to work. Alright guys, so I took that 2x4 out that was going across here just so I could get the battery box in place, and I also jacked up the 2x4 because it was sticking down about a good quarter of an inch or more, half inch. So I jacked it up, put a screw in so I could slide the box under here. Now underneath there's a foam board, so it's up off the floor. And now what I need to do is just put the steel down and spread it out kind of half-ass here. I got it's doubling up on the sheets, so it's pretty thick. And by the way, anyways, this is going to be filled with 2 inches of sand. So I'm going to have to fire up the wood stove now, start cooking sand, and then go from there. So I disconnected the wires, so I'm going to have to rerun new wires to the batteries and all that fun stuff. So lots of fun. So I'm going to get on to firing up the wood stove and see what I can do here. So, and that's about as close as I can get to the wall, because I guess it's probably a good idea to leave a little gap there and a gap in behind. It's just the way the foam is. It's not quite square to the world, so just like everything in this place. But this thing is alright. It's got a little wobble now that I took the support off, but nobody's going to be shaking this thing, so that's a good thing. And I also got to get another 12-volt socket because I need to run more stuff. It's simple as that. I do have a multi one that I could put in here because this is only running a fan, so that might be the answer too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I will show you the sand process and we'll get to that. Alright guys, I'm going to grab a bag of sand down here.
I'm a little fearful that by us talking about it, that someone may end up making a mandate, and pretty soon all the cows will have to wear a mask to stop their heavy breathing here in the global warming.
I have to get
It's scaring me a little.
My dad's just heading out for now. Is what it is. He's taking off. He worked at his trailer. He's done for the day. So, Rob, why do you need sand for your battery bank? Nobody does that. It's a safety precaution, guys. In case the stuff that you buy in China fails, which is very possible. Yeah, that's what you're dealing with. So I'm gonna split this bag and fill this tray up with some sand. And basically I have to cook the moisture out of it before adding it to the box. That way, you know, it's nice and dry and good to go. So definitely has moisture in it. Drop the camera here. I'm going to try to keep as much spread out in the tray as possible. I got 3 of these aluminum trays from the dollar store. So I'm going to throw these on top of the barrel stove, all 3 at once. And we're going to cook this sand thoroughly, and then I can add it slowly but surely into the bottom of that that battery box and build a base layer, a foundation layer. Now this is going to probably take me forever to do. I'm going to have to do this multiple times. It's just an added security though for the tiny house, so in case anything electrically bad happens with the batteries, if they light up, it won't burn the trailer down. It'll be immediately snuffed out via sand. So, and this was recommended to me by High Tech Guy 18 Stu. He's an electrical engineer, knows his stuff, and knows his lithium. So, I guess this is a decent amount for now. I'm going to try to fit as much in as possible, I guess. I'm just trying to smooth it out so it's kind of like an even thing. That should be plenty for that one. Let's see how heavy that is. Probably, oh, doesn't collapse the tray, so that's not bad. So this is going to work out. I was worried that possibly it would collapse the tray. You never know. Okay, guys. I could only fit 2 trays on the barrel stove because they're fairly big. But I put the other one right here. It won't get much attention until later on. So once these 2 are done, I'll put this guy up, and then I'll just keep rotating as we go. Now, it's been a while since I fired this wood stove. This is the first time this year firing it. So I just closed the door a little bit. I got the combustion wide open though down here on the grill, and I'm just getting this baby warmed right up. And once I think it's drafting pretty good already, actually. I can feel it through my glove. Oh yes, it is. It's got that smell where every time you start up your furnace in the early winter or early fall, you got that burn that dust smell off. That's the smell that's going on right now. So it's kind of a good thing I got the windows and doors wide open. There's that giant bug that got into the tiny house. Looks like a monster of a hornet. I don't think it's a bee. Not at all. So cool. So I don't know exactly how long it's going to take to bake sand. I'm guessing an hour or 2. So this is going to be a long drawn out process. But the benefit is it's going to dry out the tiny house, all the humidity in here, and help cure things. It's going to dry out the sand. It's going to burn that dust smell off, and I'm going to burn through a lot of scrap that I generated throughout the redo of the tiny house project here. So that's a bonus, I think. And we get to try it out now that the ceiling is gone. The heat's just going to go right along the foam here, and we'll see how that is different than when I had spray foam covered up with that ceiling. So now my dad's going to use the ceiling plywood that has a survival blanket taped to it in his trailer, because he's got a little wall heater in his place, and he's going to take full advantage of all that stuff that I have. So there you go. So I'm just getting rid of little odds and ends at this moment. I'm going to burn through a lot of odds and ends and scrap, and then as I progress here, we'll see exactly how well this works. Now, what I can do later on is, if this sand setup works pretty good. I can leave these attached to the barrel stove and go from there, like as a thermal mass type of thing. Even though the bottom of this barrel stove is lined with sand, so that's a thermal mass there. But we'll see if it generates up top as well. It's starting to smoke here. Once we get a good draft coming through, I think we're getting close. Best combustion. We're closing in on it. I don't have much wood in there though. It was mostly scraps, but it should be enough to get this stuff warmed up fairly decent, I would think. Oh yeah, the barrel's just scorching hot already. So it shouldn't take long for this sand to cook off and dry out. I like it. So I'll give you updates as it goes, guys. See you in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. I have the stove completely damped down now because we were going a little overboard. I think I overloaded the stove a tad, but I'm trying to speed up the process, but I don't think it's gonna work. What I've been doing is right here you can see I got the barrel stove going away here. Got all the windows and doors open because it's extremely toasty in here. And basically I've taken my little scooper and these trays are aluminum trays full of sand. And the reason I need reason I'm doing this, guys, is I gotta cook the moisture out of this sand before it gets placed in the battery box. You guys can see the difference in the color there. So it's obviously working. I'm just occasionally stirring the sand around to see if it's cooking through, and it seems to be. I haven't put my hand on the sand yet, but I'll do that shortly. But I've been just kind of stirring this around, making sure all the moisture is getting totally cooked out here, nice and dry. And then each of these trays will be then dumped into the bottom of the battery bank box as a 2-inch foundation. So there you go. Somebody's here, so I'm gonna go see who that is. Could be my dad, probably. So be back in a bit. Occasionally you could see a little steam coming off, guys. This stuff is very warm now. I put my hand on it, so I'm just letting it go through. We're over in the extreme cooking zone, so like I said, I cut the air off to the fireplace, but it doesn't really matter for this guy. It's a beast, so it's just gonna take a while to burn that stuff down. This will clean out any of my pipes in the meantime. I got a little fan set up because I don't have a ceiling fan hooked up to this bad boy yet, which I definitely need just above here to circulate some air, because this thing is cooking. So I'll continue cooking and see how much I can get done today. It's going to be a tedious project, for sure. I probably won't have any power here on Friday if I stay over, so who knows. Alright guys, I'm going to show you something here before I start stirring. Here's the color difference between this. This guy is where the majority of the heat is on the barrel stove. And if you keep watching, every so often you'll see the steam shoot up out of here. See that? Hopefully it's caught on camera for you. I'll keep moving around. I'm just cooking out all the possible moisture of this sand. And I gotta keep stirring it like you're cooking something on a stove, right? Because you gotta agitate to move the moisture out of the material.
And business owner, I would never, as a healthcare professional, recommend you get something that I didn't feel was safe for you. It's your decision. It's safe.
See that?
It's sponsored by Small Business Association.
So I'm assuming once this gets super dark, it will be done. And we'll go from there. So we'll see how that works out.
Learn from the pros and welcome to boating workshops on Saturday.
Shop, dream, enjoy the boating lifestyle.
Metro Boat Show.
September 16th through 19th.
I'm sure if I get the majority of that out, we'll know. Now let's try this stuff.
Boatshow.net.
This stuff is not, it's closer to the front of the stove. So there's still going to be heat there, but not as intense as this guy is. And you can see the color difference there quite a bit. So I may have to move this guy over here eventually to finish him off, which is no problem.
At the Restore Wellness Center, they relieve the pain and they increase function, allowing you to do the things you want to do. So don't just sit by dealing with the pain.
So I'll just keep playing in the sand here at the off-grid tiny house, guys. And I'll get back to you once we get a little further along. The stove's finally coming down, so it's about just above 300, close to 400 Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna keep cooking sand, and haven't dumped any in the battery box yet because we want to make sure I get the majority of the moisture out of there, because I don't need any wet rot or anything on the wood. But the battery box has been completely treated with polyurethane, so it's waterproof. But still, the more I remove now, the better in the future, right? So take my time, do it right, and go from there. See you in a bit. Hey guys, my brother was here. He's down today, staying over. So we're having our big celebration here for his visit. I figured out the sand. It holds the heat for a long time. I put this guy over there for a half hour and it's still kicking hot. And this is about the consistency. This one's darker because it's in the shade of the. They're about the same. This one's a little darker. This one's not bad. I can put him back over here because I'm waiting for this one to kick off. Now I'm trying to let the stove die right down. I closed it off because they want to go eat soon, and I'm still doing this shit, so it's gonna be a while. So I gotta move this around. I might put that one right here, but that's the consistency, guys, and I'm just letting it sit out. And I got this fan blowing across the barrel just to help out a little bit because it's super hot. It's throwing the heat in here. Let me go see if I can get a temperature reading. My dad's put 33.4 degrees Celsius in here, and that's indoor temperatures, and that's blocked by this cabinet, so it's warm as hell in here. It's gonna dry everything out, which is good. But yeah, so my brother got to see the construction mayhem in here, and it's quite something. So let's set up the camera so I'm not making everybody seasick. I think I already did, but here we go. I'll put that other tray up there just for the hell of it. I wanted to dump the first tray into the battery box, but it's still super hot. The sand is holding that heat really well. So I'll just put him up here, and that's basically all I have to do. I love my UV gloves. Best thing going if you own a wood stove. Makes it very awesome for handling hot stuff. So I'm just gonna keep him, this is like the passive spot. Just let him passively suck up any more heat to get any moisture out of here. But so far so good. then this guy should be really turning colors now. I just switched to the metal spatula because my plastic little scooper there was starting to get a little toasty. Didn't want to melt it or ruin it because I use that for scooping the sand out and for using in my composting toilet. Obviously cleaned. I use it for adding peat moss to the composting toilet, I should say. But obviously cleaned it before using it to transfer sand. Unbelievable how this sand holds the heat so well. Wow. Pretty amazing stuff. There we go. So we're rapidly dropping now, which is good. That's what I want. That was quite the pain in the you-know-what. This jumped all the way up to overfire again. And it's not a good thing, guys. Not at all. So, probably most of the fuel has burned out. That's what I'm assuming. This has been closed down forever. Damped totally off. And it's still throwing heat out. That's why I really don't even need the Mylar in the tiny house anymore because the barrel stove works so well. Highly recommend anybody going off the grid or in a super cold area. If you have really crappy insulation, put one of these in. Even if you have a giant house, it'll do it. Doesn't matter. Friggin' awesome. Barrel stoves are the cat's meow. Super efficient. I don't care what the government says because you basically use hardly any wood and it throws the heat everywhere. Now obviously you can get 55-gallon barrels fairly cheap and fairly readily available everywhere. I may still get another one just as a backup. But yeah, so in here I got the Mylar and everything's metal and Mylar. Once the sand starts going in, we can clean it up a little bit more. But I'm not putting in that hot sand in there just yet because I'm about to take off. Maybe I'll come back later tonight, probably, and go from there on that. But so far so good here at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Also some good news that I'll get to in a prepping video, so be back in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, another prepping video. My brother's down visiting. He told me, from what I talked to him on Facebook, he was going to get a mandatory vaccine. But the backlash has been so awesome against the government. Now they're going to pull back. They did a survey and they said 60% of the staff in healthcare at his work are unvaxxed. And basically all of them were going to leave the job and just cripple the healthcare system. So instead, the government has now backed off and they're going to have to do a course and maybe a weekly test, rapid test every week for the unvaccinated, which is good because I was worried about my brother there. So, and another prepper video coming up later tonight. I will give him the his preparedness item that will help fight the Rona later on. And if you guys don't know where to get this stuff, I'll let you know. But that'll come later on. So good news on that behalf. So happy about that. Because he's really worried about the vax, as am I. My parents got it. They were fine. But that's probably because I was giving them RSO the entire time, both of them. So hopefully the RSO went in and stopped any anomalies going on and stopped the vax from doing what nasty shit it does. So RSO guys as well for your preparedness. So I'll get back to you in a bit. We'll talk to you later. Let me grab this thing. Oh.
This is like flipped backwards.
Yeah, I know. It's permanently like that.
What the?
Screwed. Okay,
Going.
over here, Ken.
Full Blair Witch over here.
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch
Got no
2021.
lights. Here.
She's back.
What are you doing? How can you see?
We're doing it
We
right
got
now.
lights on over here.
Alright, Kevin. In the box. Here comes the sand. That's one. That's gonna take a lot of sand.
How many?
Dusty.
4 or 5 of those, or what?
Yeah, something like that. That hardly did anything. Look at it. Not even
Baby,
10.
baby bit.
Yep. Dusty.
Oh,
I can throw the other one in, I guess. Might as well. Alright. Do you like that color, man?
Oh, that's alright. That's okay.
There we go. Turn that light back on. Oops. Dusty.
you got gold
What
dust.
do you think of the ceiling, Kevin? Painting that, do you think that looks better or not?
Painting the ceiling.
What do,
Right over
what do-
here.
What do you
Is that white?
White. I had to do it with the brush.
It's a white out.
Does that look better?
Yeah. Because the yellow sticks out.
Where's my,
Some of the yellow.
Yeah, it was turning yellow because of this ultraviolet.
Did you get that? You have that empty paint can, or you threw it out? Yeah? It's hot in here.
All that wet sand.
See how wet and heavy it is?
Christ, is it supposed to be like that?
So that's how it comes.
Wow.
That's how it comes. You got no choice. Play sand. It's super heavy. That's all moisture in there.
And where is the sand going? What do you need
In
it
the battery
for?
box.
Oh.
So my batteries, if they ever blow up, it'll stop it from burning the place down.
Oh.
Basically, that's it.
How many bags did you get?
10. This is just the first bag,
Holy shit.
just in case.
All soaked.
Yeah, all gotta be cooked. A lot of cooking, man, coming. Alright, we'll put this guy
You
on.
like that white or black?
It's a white out. Yeah,
Leave
that's,
him
that
on
looks fun.
overnight.
This one? Okay.
We'll leave this guy here. And that'll be it. Let's see.
Round 2.
This guy might be ready, actually. You know that?
Yeah, he looks it.
What do you think?
It's like litter. Cat litter.
Yeah.
Should I dump it, Kevin? It looks pretty good, the colors are.
You dump
I
it
think
if
so.
you have to.
I think so, it's time.
And then you're gonna cook another one.
Yeah, I'll load the last of it up. Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Almost dumped her. Ma'am, get ready. Then I can take the camera home and upload something for the pigs.
You got a YouTube ready to rip.
Pretty dusty shit.
Dry.
It's not bad. I should be able to get 2 inches in the bottom of
We're
that
coming.
time you're done.
You're on
It's gonna
candid
be
camera.
Weeks. Just don't do the license plate.
It's still warm.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bad.
No, I gotta move him over there. Yeah. I'll fill this guy with sand and then get out of here. Okay.
One more load.
One more load, I can just pour him in, I think.
We got that where at Crappy.
Got the
Tire.
tires. I don't know if they still got it on or not. That's clay sand.
Yeah, that's what I need. I don't need anything too crazy.
That's one bag done.
Oh, that's a fair bit.
That's not bad for, that's a lot for one bag. I'll move him over where the real heat is. And then I'll spread him out. Cold rush style. There's not much there. Spread it out.
Yeah, looking good in here, right?
You see the painted windows?
Yeah.
There we go.
Frames.
We're out of here.
Alright.